You can never rest in the NBA as the New York Knicks make a late night trade to acquire Mikal Bridges. We're going to talk about it all and more right after this.
Welcome to the number one place for your daily basketball news and analysis, NBA Central.
What's going on, basketball fans? Welcome to another episode of NBA Central, your number one spot for everything basketball related. I'm one of the hosts here, Haize. More importantly, you guys can follow the channel at NBA Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into this content. So the New York Knicks make a really big trade to acquire Mikal Bridges. And this is a really good one. 5 first-round picks overall, plus Bojan Bogdanovic for Mikal Bridges. And some people are asking, is this an overpay? You know, it depends on the way that you view this, right? Mikal Bridges is a player that's averaged close to 20 points per game, right? And you look at how he did that. The last season was 19.6. The season before that was 26.1 points per game. He still has a few years remaining on his contract as well, on top of being 27 years old and fitting in almost seamlessly with what the New York Knicks have going on there and what they're building there in New York. And so the Knicks are a team that is going for it. They are trying to contend right now. And when you look now at that starting five potentially for the New York Knicks, as it stands right now, you got Jalen Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo, Mikal Bridges, Julius Randle, Isaiah Hartenstein, more than likely, Josh Hart coming off the bench, right? Miles McBride coming off the bench as well. They still got some work to do. We'll see what happens with OG Anunoby. The Knicks have already said that they would like to also retain OG Anunoby regardless. But this is a major deal to bring in the talent that Mikal Bridges is. And so naturally people are going to ask, did the Knicks overpay for this deal? And I'm of two minds with it, right? I think that it definitely helps. The Knicks are building and assembling some serious depth there. Mikal Bridges theoretically also is going to help keep Josh Hart from having to play as many minutes as he has in the offseason, in the postseason as well. And so this was a deal, in my opinion, that the Knicks couldn't pass up. You look at it, how close the Knicks are, the fact that Mikal Bridges fits into that culture, he fits into everything so well there. I can see him being a player that Tom Thibodeau just loves down there in New York. And really viewing that trade for what it is, I think that this is something that needed to happen in some ways, right? And so we all knew that Mikal Bridges was going to be available at this trade deadline. And I don't know if we thought that it was going to be what it ended up being, but the Knicks are adding him to an already solid roster that showed some serious things. And, they give up Bogdanovic, who isn't, let's be clear, Bogdanovic as a shooter, but he is a veteran, he's an older player. The Nets are going to be getting 4 unprotected first-round picks in 2025, 27, 29, and 2031. And they get a 2025 first-round pick from the Bucks that's top 4 protected as well. And then they get an unprotected pick swap in 2028 and a 2025 second-round pick. This is a really big trade. This is one of the hugest ones. And in a lot of ways, maybe the Nets are finally recouping everything that they gave up for KG and Paul Pierce, a trade that I think they just finished paying all that off a few years ago. So this signifies that the two different directions that the New York franchises are going in. The Knicks are putting all their chips on the table to try to go and compete for a title right now. And for what it's worth, when you feel like you're close, you're going to be willing to give up a little bit more. They still got some things to figure out. What's going to be the future of Julius Randle? What's going on with Mitchell Robinson? What's going on with Isaiah Hartenstein? They got some things that they absolutely need to figure out before this offseason ends. But at least right now, the New York Knicks have added a player that is a two-way player. He raises some questions on how good his defense is, but is a two-way player, can score, can fill it up. You got players in Precious Achiuwa, OG Anunoby, Isaiah Hartenstein that you need to make some decisions on what's going to happen there. But the Knicks also maintain a 24 pick in this, number 24, number 25, and number 38 in this draft as well. So the Knicks have things that are still absolutely at their disposal to try to update some things on. But ultimately, it comes down to the Knicks are going for it. And, as it stands right now, we'll have to see how everything shakes out. Overall, Boston Celtics are still going to be the team to beat. There have been no moves that are made. It's still haven't even went through free agency that you're worried about anything tipping that balance. But the Knicks are going forward, and they're putting everything out there to try to get something done. And we'll see if the Knicks end up doing it. But initial thoughts on this trade. I feel like this is a really good trade that fits the mold of this roster. He fits what Tom Thibodeau likes to do. It eases some things up for Josh Hart as well. And this is a trade that made the New York Knicks better. They still got some work to do. They still got some harsh decisions to make in this offseason. But at least right now, the New York Knicks have improved themselves. And let's see what they have in store going forth for the rest of the offseason. But guys, let me know what you guys think on this down below. As far as the Nets side of things, I mean, this clearly indicates that the Nets are, going rebuild, which I don't think there was really any question there already. And they're going to be selling off some pieces. Cam Johnson is somebody who could be looked to be moved as well. They still could look to flip Bojan Bogdanovic as well at the draft or something like that. This could be, the first step in the Nets kind of completely reshaping, sending off players where they can to kind of get the most assets back. And that kind of makes sense for where they are as well, too. But, guys, let me know what you think on both sides of this down below. Make sure you guys are following the show at NBA Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, NBA Central Show at gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the number one spot for everything Chicago. We're the number one spot for everything basketball related. And I'll see you guys the next time we make a video. Probably tomorrow, especially with the NBA draft. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Breaks Media.